What's crackin', movie trivia Schmoedown fans? It's your boy C-Dub, and today we got in the IG tournament from the Finstock Exchange, Emily Rose Jacobson taking on Eric Zipper from the Dungeon. Both of these competitors are very hungry for a win. We've seen Emily Rose at the Atlanta event just fall short against Alex Damon. Zipper's trying to get on a groove here. Should be a really good match, but I will give the slight edge to Zipper, but it should be a good one, so let's get it started. Come on.
Hey, Kaiser, what's up?
What's up? It's 11 a.m. We got a quiz scheduled.
What? I thought it was tomorrow.
Yeah, well, this is gonna be a little pop quiz, just to prepare you for the element of surprise.
I'm not really worried about Emily sneaking up on me. I mean, I'm doing the match in my own house, so should be fine.
Yeah? Well, you know who's probably taking a pop quiz right now, tough guy? Mike Kalinowski. You think he's screwing around, watching SpongeBob SquareShorts? He's training. And think about it. If you get past Emily the Rose, you get a piece of corruption.
The real goal is corruption. Mike Kalinowski.
I like what I'm hearing.
I know that Stacey Howard isn't still in corruption, but I still hold them personally responsible for my defeat in singles. I feel like that was some, holdover corruption nonsense.
Are you ready to shock the world in this Inner Geekdom tournament?
I am ready. I have never felt more prepared for literally anything in my life. Do you think I studied in school? I didn't study in school, but I studied for this.
The new Zipper.
Because I actually care about this. And people are going to see how much I care when I burn through this bracket.
What about the training drill with the chicken? Are you doing the training drill with the chicken?
I'm already studying every day with the Smasher. I don't have time to be chasing chickens around my backyard. This isn't a Rocky movie, man. And also, not all of us have farm animals just hanging out.
What about this promo they're asking us to do? You got any ideas?
I don't know, I feel like the promos that's your job. Let me worry about winning this match, you know?
We should definitely take a shot at Harloff in this promo.
No, man, we don't take a shot at Christian. I don't need him hating me as much as he hates you.
What do you think? Should we go after Harloff?
What
about that weirdo in a wool mask? Dagnino. I'm gonna have to come after him.
I can't be worried about you and Dagnino like the two drunk uncles at the wedding.
I mean, there's all kinds of things I could call him.
I know that you gotta get your shots in.
Vagrant, scoundrel, vagabond, swindler, charlatan, beachcomber, tramp, drifter. I don't know. I'll think of something.
Oh, and dude, try not to swear so much, okay? You know how much Harloff hates that.
Just remember one thing, Zip. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. And the Finstock Exchange, they're just milk bones. Out.
God, that guy is nuts, but he does know how to win.
Love Kaiser.
Welcome back to the movie trivia Schmoedown, the Inner Geekdom tournament. It continues, and we get to see two of the best managers of all time go head-to-head as we have the Finstock Exchange going up against the Dungeon. Two, I would say already, pros in the Inner Geekdom division with Emily the Rose Jacobson, who will be representing the Finstock Exchange against Eric Zipper of the Dungeon. Mark Ellis, how are you?
Oh, Christian, I am great if you're asking me how I feel about these competitors, because Eric Zipper, Emily Rose Jacobson, so knowledgeable, such a breath of fresh air in the inner geekdom division, but then you look at their managers, and yeah, you say that they're two of the GOATs, but my God, it's like dealing with your crazy uncle and the guy who sells narcotics to your crazy uncle.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that because Eric Zipper, who came into this league, is such a nice young gentleman. Really, we know the story how he turned his back on his partner and now manager of Swag, Winston Marshall. But it was the strange pair-up where he paired up with John Kaiser last year in the dungeon with his former partner Paul Oyama, and it wasn't Oyama that stuck with the dungeon, it was Zipper. There's something with Zipper and Kaiser. Kaiser has really found a liking to Zipper, and I think the same. Zipper said it, I can't remember what it was. It may have been an interview. He said, you never imagine in 100 years that I would be friends with someone like Kaiser, but Kaiser is the guy that he really listens to. And it's strange because on the other opposite end of that coin, Emily Rose Jacobson, who may be one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life, with that scoundrel Bobby Gucci, but it works.
Yeah, look, the history of sport is littered with unlikely combinations of talent, but at the end of the day, Christian, maybe the managerial style of Gucci or of Kaiser doesn't necessarily fit even with their scumbag personality that you and I know. Maybe they did find something in being able to coach and mentor that we're just not seeing because you and I are looking at this from one perspective, but maybe Jacobson and Zipper are seeing something else that's apparent.
Well, I mean, it has to be because you look at, as much as we want to take shots, and it's fun to take shots at these two imbeciles, the best part about it is that they're great managers. Kaiser, in his rookie season as a manager, managed two players to championships. Paul Oyama won the singles championship, and Kevin Smets is the reigning Inner Geekdom champion. Bobby Gucci is a three-time winner of Manager of the Year, and he happens to have both the teams and singles champions in his faction. The Finstock Exchange, they are the 1926 Yankees. There's no doubt about it. And so we have to see how it stacks up today, what it means in the race. Because as we look right now, here are the current standings. It is a tight race, Mark, as the Star Wars and the Inner Geekdom tournaments have happened. And look at the changes. If you look right there from what it was just a few weeks ago to what it is today, it is a big move. So this is a big match for both the Finstock Exchange and the Dungeon.
That's right. Certainly Emily Rose Jacobson looking to get back because she was in a live match earlier this year and she ended up taking the loss to Alex Damon. Nobody really knew what Damon could bring to the table, and certainly he did a lot, but Emily Rose, she put up a fight. So now going up against Eric Zipper, does that live experience help her at all? And I think that your point is valid about the managers and the managerial styles that we're going to see today. Because look, Bobby Knight, great coach. Earl Weaver, great manager. I wouldn't necessarily want to hang out with them, but did they get the job done? Did they get wins? Yes.
Yes, they did. All right, so enough of us talking about it. You guys get to see how we got here today. Here we go.
What's up, people? Gucci here. I got an insider tip from an exiled dungeon head that this is where the dungeon is. She's like, Gucci, you need to see what's going on here. It's something else. Go, Claudia. I appreciate it. Wait a minute. I think I got it.
Here's the deal, Bobby Goofy. The dungeon owns the Inner Geekdom. I can't wait to unleash the new Eric Zipper, the Z1000.
You know, I was pretty down on Inner Geekdom earlier this year. I watched my match against Adam Holovic the other day, and I didn't even recognize that guy. The player that people are going to see in this tournament is focused, he's determined, he studies, and he cares intensely about winning this game.
Eric Zipper wants to win this tournament, and the road runs right through the Finstock Exchange. And your winner, by way of technical knockout!
Atlanta was a tough match for me. That's the honest truth. And you know what? We live, we learn, we keep getting better, and we keep pushing on forward.
If you guys think for 1 second that anybody from the dungeon will ever beat anybody from the Finstock Exchange, sadly mistaken.
I'm not scared of...
Come on.
second that anybody from the dungeon will ever beat anybody from the Finstock Exchange. Sadly mistaken.
I'm not scared of Emily Jacobson. I watched her play in one of the lowest scoring intergeekdom matches of all time. Like, they have no idea what they're going up against. They don't understand that I've been training with Snets, with Parker, that I have been living and breathing intergeekdom. And I am excited to see the looks on their faces when they realize that this is not the Eric Zipper they are used to. This is an Eric Zipper who wins.
You know what? I've said this before, and I'll keep saying it. The IG, it's a marathon, not a sprint. That's not only who I am as a player, that's who I am as a person. So in this tournament, I'm really excited to play, really excited to see what I learn, and you know what? I'm really excited to win some matches. The Finstock Exchange, coming in hot, and we're coming in greedy.
I mean, everyone expected the little quips from both Kaiser and Dagnino, but it's Emily Rose Jacobson. You see the journey that she wants, where she is, what she wants to do, but you see the fire in Zipper's eyes. He is friends with Smets. Smets is on his faction. Smets has been talking about this is a new Eric Zipper when it comes to intergeekdom. He had he had a decent road his first time around. I mean, he lost his first loss in intergeekdom came to legend Rachel Cushing. But there's something to him. You can see how much, even in his singles loss to Stacey Howard, you could see how much the game means to him now. He's a different player, that I see. Now, how his knowledge has changed, I don't know. We'll have to find out.
I think we are about to find out, and both of them are competitors, and although they may be nice and bright on the surface like Emily Rose Jacobson, you know there's a fire deep down there, and with Zipper, that fire's become more apparent, and maybe, Christian, that's why they are sticking with their managers, in spite of things that you or I may think. They know that these managers are going to be the gateway to get them where they want to go in this division.
Well, speaking of said managers, as we know, the rivalry continues between Kaiser and Dagnino. Even though I think they're cut from the same cloth, they seem to, maybe that's why they don't get along very well. But here they are, manager of the Finstock Exchange, Bobby Gucci, and the Dungeon.
Deliver the Bloody Mary with the Hickory Burger.
You know it.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, hello, Kaiser. Thanks.
Sorry, just ordering lunch.
No, I know. I appreciate that. So, guys, look, we see ourselves here again. It's the Dungeon versus the Exchange. Kaiser, you kind of knew when you came into this league that Gucci was the guy to catch. He was the manager that everyone was talking about, and you made big waves last year. You had 2 champions, and then this year, obviously with stuff that you're doing in Intergeekdom, you drafted very strongly in the Intergeekdom. How are you feeling with this match coming up?
Well, you know how the Dungeon handles its business, with class and dedication to the game, okay? Whereas Gucci, he's got Bateman and Riley stuffing envelopes for Capital One offers just to keep the lights on in that Finstock flop house, okay? We all know that I'm a classy operation. I got all the endorsement deals, Adidas, Hormel Chili, Rite Aid. All the big companies know who to go to, and that's the Dungeon. Tom, on the other hand, looks like a crazy person came out of the woods after 38 years. You're like the Nell of the Schmoedown.
Tom?
Give me 1 second.
Oh, all right. Tom.
All right, and Tom Dagnino, look, I did love him in season 4 breaking that.
He's back. Wait. Oh, wait.
Oh, here we go.
Wait.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's not Tom Dagnino. That's someone we haven't seen in quite a while. That's Finstock.
Sure is.
You're back.
I am back. Look, us here in the Exchange cultivate an aura of mystery, intrigue, and sexiness. And what better to simplify that than this mask? Because this does all those things. Intrigue, mystery, and sexiness. Look, life is too short to be not good at something that you're not immediately good at. You dig what I'm saying?
Not really, but I kind of understand. No, I don't understand it at all.
I'm not reading that at all. I know there's a great rivalry between you two, and I can appreciate that. But let's talk about the competitors here today. Finstock, Gucci, whatever. I'm just glad you're wearing at least an article of clothing. I'm going to start with you, and then Kaiser, you can counter. What is it about your competitor today that is going to get them the win?
Well, look, like I said before, The Finstock Exchange as a whole were stronger, smarter, and sexier. Every other faction is subservient, subpar, and stupid. 3 S's across the board. Now, what I'm saying is, Emily, look, yeah, she stumbled over in Atlanta. It was what it was. But she's coming to play. What we do in the Finstock Exchange is train every single day. There's a lot of people in other factions I'm hearing, they haven't even spoke to their competitors at all. There's competitors that didn't even know they were playing. Trust me, this is on every person's in the exchange's calendar that this is when it is. These guys watch this stuff. We are on text threads. The reason why we're the best is because we're family, and that's facts.
Kaiser?
Tom, just please don't cook with that mask on, because I don't need your head going up in flames before we even get our late night show off the ground, all right? That's just a little bit of advice, first of all.
That's fair.
Second of all, listen, we've been watching Star Wars and Potter movies for the last 5 days over the Zoom, okay? This new technology. Now I can watch these matches live with my guys. Now I get to see these movies for the first time, Star Wars and Potter and all this crap. That Smets has changed this, man. You understand what we've got right now? This is the new Zipper. This is the Z1000. And you can thank Kevin Smets for coaching him to what's going to be a win today. All right? I know what this kid can do. You know what this kid can do. And look, he's well studied. He's running on an empty stomach, and he's going to take all that out on Emily the Rose tonight.
Well, there you go. So, Kaiser and Finstock never had a shortage of words there, Mark. Gentlemen, good luck to you both. This is a big match, obviously, for both the Dungeon and the Exchange. We'll see you in a little bit.
That's it? We don't get to talk more?
No.
Hey, Christian, I've never applauded your timing skills more with that button than right now.
Thank you. It's amazing how much happiness it gives me to do that to those two in particular. All right, Mark. Well, that being said, I'm ready to keep going. How about you?
Yeah, I am ready. I'm going to take my customary pre-intergeekdom shot of fish oil here. There we go. All right, let's meet our competitors.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the movie trivia Schmoedown. Introducing first, representing the Finstock Exchange, with a record of 1 win, 2 defeats, and 1 knockout, she is Emily the Rose Jacobson. Jacobson, she is here. Emily, how are you feeling here today on your second match in the Intergeek of the season?
I'm feeling great. You know what? More the merrier matches. That's how you keep getting better and better.
Emily, if I can ask you just about that live event in Atlanta, it was just such a circus, really. I mean, there's a raucous, sold-out crowd. You're going up against Alex Damon. People are cheering, they're booing. It's everything imaginable kind of being thrown at you. So now that you're doing this from the comfort of your own home, is it more comfortable for you, and what experience from Atlanta can you take into this match?
Definitely more comfortable, and it's just me in my room, which is very nice. But the thing from Atlanta that really I learned was a big lesson for me was the wheel. That was my first really big challenge with the wheel. I landed not only on opponent's, Alex landed on opponent's choice, I landed on winner's choice, and for some reason, the power of choice really shook me. I did not trust my gut. And that is what I've taken away from that Atlanta match. And I've got a really solid plan for today. And so there's going to be no hesitation from this Rose.
Well, Emily, I also have to ask here, too, because Zipper, this is, if you had met Zipper 2 years ago, I think you guys would have gotten along very well. He seems to have a chip on his shoulder. He seems to be a guy that has taken this attitude of Kaiser and the Dungeon. There's talk of him, doing a lot of studying. Have you paid attention to anything Zipper's doing and anything on this attitude of the Z-Man?
I'm not going to lie. I looked at his Twitter to see if he was talking about training or talking about studying. Really nothing on that end. So for me, it's kind of a toss-up. You can talk how much you've trained, but that doesn't mean anything until the match.
Fair enough. Well, Emily the Rose Jacobson for the Finstock Exchange. She is ready. Emily, we'll see you in just a moment here. And her opponent, representing the Dungeon, with a record of 1 win, 2 defeats, and 1 knockout in the Intergeekdom division, is Eric Seaman Zipper. Here he is.
Hey guys,
What's up, Seaman? How are you doing?
I am doing all right. I feel prepared. I feel ready. Let's do this.
Eric, I gotta ask you, man, this is a new Zipper. Either talk about how you're gonna be, you've been training, Smeth's been helping you. Is this, you've talked about it in the past, that Inner Geekdom was a little rough in the past for you, and maybe you weren't as trained. Do you feel better now going into this match?
I do. I feel much more well-rounded now because I've been training with Smets, I've been training with Parker, I've been training with people who know what they are talking about when it comes to Inner Geekdom, and it used to be a case where my strengths were my strengths and my weaknesses are my weaknesses, but I've been whittling down those weaknesses one by one, and I am all strength.
You know, Eric, when you think about the shirt that you're wearing, I think about how Captain America's mantra, he just reminds himself, I'm just a kid from Brooklyn. So you, this morning, as you're making your bed, which thank you for doing that, by the way, and you're repeating something to yourself over and over again to get you hyped up for this match, what is the Zipper mantra headed into today?
I actually was listening to a song right before this called We Can't Be Beat by the Walkmen, and that's the mantra. We can't be beat. I can't be beat right now.
All right, so Eric Zipper, the Z-Man, he is ready to go. We're gonna bring Emily back.
Sorry, one last thing, because when you were talking to Emily, you said if you two met each other 2 years ago, you probably would have gotten along. The funny thing is, I actually did meet Emily about 2 years before I did the Schmoedown, and then when we ran into each other at the Schmoedown, she did not remember me. So, I am still harboring some grudges over that, so it'll feel good to work that out.
Emily, do you have any response to that?
It was a crazy time for me. I was working for Mountain Dew. There was a lot of dew to be had, so I apologize.
Well, there you go. All right, Mark, so our competitors are here. Grudges have been made, and we see the beginning of the match, round number 1.
That's right. So we got Mountain Dew, Rite Aid, Adidas, Hormel Chili, and of course Norwegian Fish Oil. Great sponsors of the program. In round number 1, it's Inner Geekdom, kids. So that means you're going to get 10 questions from 10 different corners of Inner Geekdom know-how. You'll have a Potter question, maybe a Middle-earth question, a Star Wars or a Star Trek question. Each question is worth 1 point. There's no penalty for missing a question, and there is no stealing in round number 1. As soon as we ask a question, please take 15 seconds, no more, to write down your best attempt at an answer with whatever utensil you have on whatever tablet you provided for yourself. Once we ask you by name to reveal your answer, please show what you wrote to your camera at the same time you verbalize your answer into the microphone. I'll remind each competitor of your 3 usages of the JTE rule throughout the duration of the match. If you're not sure you heard a question right, you want to buy yourself another 15 seconds, use the JTE rule, because you got 3 of them. You only have 1 challenge, and that challenge can be issued by your manager at any point throughout the 3-round contest. Christian, still got a little bit of a fishy aftertaste, but I'm good to go. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I have to start with Emily. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Zip, are you ready?
Let's do this.
Then let's get ready to Schmoedown! All right, here we go. Question number 1, round number 1, in the category of the MCU. In Iron Man 2's post-credit scene, what does Coulson find in the desert of New Mexico?
You ever find anything in a New Mexico desert, Christian?
Thor's hammer.
Diarrhea.
No, it's the first question.
Oh, well, you asked me to be honest. And 5,
No, I didn't.
4, 3,
Why?
2, 1. Hands down, please. Okay. Let us start with Emily.
Thor's hammer?
Hammer's correct. Zip.
It's called Mjolnir.
That counts, yes. 1-1. All right, Mark. So at the end there, 1-1. Next question.
All right, your next category is in the world of the galaxy far, far away. Star Wars, which, hey, you can probably see some of our live Star Wars matches. The question, in A New Hope, according to C-3PO, what did R2-D2 claim had short-circuited his recording system? Christian, you ever have your intestines short-circuit?
In New Mexico. You said me in Georgia.
You can't teach this, kids.
And 5,
Yes, and.
4.
It was like that remote thing. Inhibitor remote. think it's called Inhibitor. I think it's called like the inhibitor remote. It's what stops him from like leaving or something.
3, 2, 1. Pens down, please, and zipper.
Sand?
That is incorrect. Emily.
His reductor bolt?
Restraining bolt.
Restraining bolt. That's what it was.
So,
It wasn't hard.
All right, just missed there. Looking for, almost had the opportunity to steal a point. Third question in the realm of Middle Earth. Who plays King Theoden in the Lord of the Rings films?
Christian, I gotta be honest with you. I'm sick of hearing this guy's name without calling him Theo.
Well, then that's why you would be run out of that place.
They got a little sign.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down, please, and Emily.
I know this is incorrect. Josh Brolin.
Not correct. Zip.
Bernard Hill.
Bernard Hill is correct. As Zip finds himself up 2-1 here as we get to our fourth question mark.
And boys, at a doozy. Your next question is in the world of DC movies, and your question: which famous athlete plays John Henry Irons, also known by his alter ego Steel, in 1997's Steel? It's a good query here, Christian.
Sure is.
Have you seen this movie?
Shaquille O'Neal.
It's not good.
5. It's not good.
JTE?
4. Yep, first one. Mark.
All right. Repeating the question, in the world of DC movies, which famous athlete plays John Henry Irons, also known by his alter ego Steel, in 1997's Steel?
You were excited to ask this question.
I was, and I remember this movie coming out and getting excited for it, and I don't know that I ever actually saw it, so I can't comment to its quality.
4,
You're fine. You're fine.
2, 1. Pens down, and Zip.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Yes. And Emily?
Terry Crews.
Correct. All right. So we now have 3-1. 3-1 as Zipper has the lead over Emily. All right. Next question, guys. Here we go. Marvel films. Which actor plays Bruce Banner's father, Dr. Dave Banner, in 2003's Hulk?
So were they both doctors then?
I guess.
Like a father, so it was like a family business. I didn't really go the way of my pappy in that
Nick
regard.
Nolte.
No. Well, you tried for a second, didn't you? 5, 4,
One semester.
3, 2. It still counts. 1. Pens down, please. And Emily.
I just know that Eric Bana is the Hulk.
That's incorrect. Zip.
Yeah.
Nick Nolte.
McNulty is correct. As Zipper starts to jump ahead here, 4-1. Our next question here, Mark.
Oh, goddamn sun turning green all
I'm going to the next one.
Your next category is in the wizarding world. And that question is, what is the name of the charms professor who teaches first-year students to spell Wingardium Leviosa?
Not to spell, the spell.
You can understand.
Look, they have to teach English at Hogwarts, too. They still have basic language
You
requirements.
don't want a bunch of just dumb magicians running amok.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down, and we start with Zip.
Flitwick?
Flitwick is correct. Emily.
Professor Phileas Flitwick.
Yes. Okay. So 5-2. Emily stays 3 points behind Zipper there, but Zipper has been on fire the last few questions here, Mark.
That's right, Christian.
Next question. The 7th question. Star Trek Beyond was released in what year?
How many of these Trek movies are there? Like 38?
No. And that's, you know what, we can ask that in one of the matches and find out.
I'm going to say 45.
2016.
There's 13. You were close.
3, 2, 1. Pens down, please, and we start with Emily.
2016.
Yes. Zip.
2016.
Correct. Zipper hits it. Zipper hits that one. 6-3. 6-3. Playing a little Bateman there. I like it.
All right, moving on to your next category. This is the DCEU. More recent crop of DC films. Your question. Will Smith's Suicide Squad character Floyd Lawton is also known by what name?
Deadshot.
Could have a director's cut of this movie coming out, Christian.
Could be. We'll see.
I'd watch it.
And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and zip.
Deadshot.
Yes, Emily.
Kill shot. Shoot.
All right,
Shoot.
7-3. So Zipper finds himself with a big 4-point lead here as we get to our next question. Number 9, heroes and villains. Heroes and villains. What famous character said, "It's not the years, honey, it's the mileage"?
Oh, I know the answer. The answer is Christian Harloff.
That's true. This morning while making an omelet.
You're really big on making the eggs for breakfast, huh?
Yeah, I have to.
Every morning?
A lot of it. 5, 4, 3,
James
2,
T. Kirk?
1. Pens down, and Emily.
James T. Kirk.
It's incorrect. Zip.
Han Solo?
Close. Indiana Jones.
Oh, I was gonna put Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones. 7-3. So our next question here, Mark, is the last question in round number 1.
That is correct, Christian. No perfect rounds here today, but we do have one more query for you. It's worth a point, and it's in the category of mixed bag. So let's jump on in that sack and see what we pull out. Oh, it's a video game kind of movie. In Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, what type of police take away Todd Ingram's superhuman powers? I really enjoyed this movie. I've not revisited it enough.
I haven't either, and I loved it.
It's
Yeah.
so good. It's so good.
And 5,
Vegan police?
4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. Zip.
Freeze. Vegan police.
Vegan police is correct. Emily?
Is it the vegan police?
It is. 8-4. So Emily gets that one, and she's going to tell 4 down here, Mark. Going into round number 2, we're going to bring the managers in here now too. As we get to the second round. All right, Mark, how does round number 2 go?
Round number 2 is the wheel round. The wheel's electronic, but don't worry, it works just as well with less oil than our actual wheel. In round number 2, each competitor is going to spin that wheel once they settle on a category. They're going to hear 5 questions in said genre. Each question's worth 2 points. There's no penalty for missing a question. However, stealing is available in round number 2. So if you're not sure of the answer, ask us for multiple choice. We'll give you 4 options, one of which is the correct answer. At that point, the value of the question goes down to 1. And we ask the competitors, while you're on camera for the duration of round number 2, please keep your hands up so we can see that you're not doing any fiddling on that there keyboard. Christian, Emily Rose Jacobson talked about the wheel in our pre-show, and now it all is going to come down to that for her chances to get to round number 3. But Eric Zipper is going to be the guy who first gets to decide if he wants to spin the wheel or defer to the Rose.
That's right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to drop both Tom and Emily out just for a second here. Kaiser, you have 60 seconds to confer with Zipper on anything you want to say to him, plus figure out if he wants to go first or second, starting now.
Zip, you're feeling like you're on a roll here. I like it. I see you in the zone. Maybe you want to keep that momentum going and go first, but you tell me what you're thinking.
I like going into round 2 knowing the lay of the land, so I think we should defer.
Okay. Well, then I defer to you, kind sir.
Is that official there, Zip?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're going to drop you guys out here. Thank you guys for that. And now we bring back Emily and Gooch. Gooch, you have 60 seconds here to talk to your competitor before she gets the first spin of the wheel. Now.
All right, Em. Got some catching up to do.
Yep.
Stay calm. Same thing. Atlanta, calm. Got it. Take your time with the answers. Spin the wheel and see what we get.
All right, so let's get that wheel up there, please. Thank you so much. All right, so with that, here is the wheel spin. Spin away.
There it goes.
Same thing too as
It's a very nice wheel.
thank you so much. All right, who said it? Now you have 60 seconds.
Emily, I think we know what we should do here. I think we should spin again.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd like
Okay.
to spin again.
All right, Emily's gonna spin again. Here we go.
All right.
Make it here. So
Here we go. Whatever it lands on, we're
That's a
taking.
category. We're not there with that.
Oh, look at this, Christian. What a wise
Let's
play.
choice.
We need it.
All right, so Emily, spinner's choice on the wheel here. You have 60 seconds to decide what you want to pick and talk through it starting now.
All right, we're in the same predicament we were in Atlanta, and we're not going to make the same mistake.
Nope.
We know exactly where to go.
Yep.
All right, Emily?
I'd like to take the MCU.
The MCU it is. All right, thank you, Gooch. We're going to throw you out here, too, and we're going to bring back Zipper. Zipper and Emily, please, if we can have your hands where we can see them during this round. Thank you so very much. All right, Emily, you chose spinner's choice, and you got into the MCU for your wheel round. All right, here we go. Emily, 5 questions in the realm of MCU. In Iron Man, Tony Stark received an award at the beginning of the film, but he was not there to accept it. What award was it?
Multiple choice.
Is it A, the Apogee Award, B, the Pulitzer Prize, C, the Sci-Tech Award, or D, the DFE Award?
The Sci-Tech Award.
It's incorrect.
A.
Zipper, you have the choices are, is it A, Apogee Award, B, Pulitzer
A.
Prize, C, Sci-Tech Award, D, DFE Award?
A.
The Apogee Award.
That is correct. All right. That is a 1-point steal. Here's your next one, Emily. What are the last words of the assassin who was sent to kill Stanley Tucci's Dr. Ernstein in 2011's Captain America:
Hail
First Avenger?
Hydra. Hail Hydra.
Multiple choice.
A, Hail Hydra. B, Forgotten Country. C, Sic Semper Tyrannis. D, For the Fatherland.
Hail Hydra.
For 1 point, that's correct.
All right, that's a big, big get. You don't want to give away another steal to Zipper, Christian.
All right, next question here. When Scott is arrested in Ant-Man, Hank comes to speak to Scott at the police station pretending to be his
Lawyer.
what?
Lawyer. His lawyer.
Multiple choice.
A, parole officer. B, lawyer. C, father. D, therapist.
Father.
Incorrect. Zipper for the steal here is A, parole officer. B, lawyer. C, father. D, therapist.
Lawyer.
5, 4.
His lawyer.
For 1 point, that's correct.
Wow.
All right. Good steal for Zipper. And here's our next. It's 10-5 right now. This is your 4th question here, Emily. Thor mistakenly calls Rocket what type of animal
Rabbit.
in Infinity War?
Rabbit.
A rabbit.
That's correct for 2 points.
One of the funniest lines in all of the MCU.
And your last question here, Emily. In Spider-Man Far From Home, what is the password to Happy's cell phone?
I would need multiple for that.
Multiple choice.
Is it A, Happy, B, Tony, C, cell phone, D, password?
Password?
Password.
That's correct for 1 point. Emily fights back there. Mark, we see ourselves 10-8. Zipper did have 2 big steals there, 1 point apiece as he still holds the lead. 10-8 right now. 10-8 as we get to Zipper's spin. All right, Emily, we're going to drop you out here for a second. We're going to bring back Kaiser. And Kaiser, you have 60 seconds to talk to your competitor right now. Go. If you need it.
Well, Zip, you need to take a deep breath. Maybe Christian will give you 2 or 3 minutes to go meditate in the backyard, and we can come back.
I think I'll be okay.
You sure?
I think I'm alright, yeah. I feel
I've
pretty
been
good.
applying all that new Phil Jackson stuff since I've been watching this Last Dance, so I want to make sure you're applying it.
Sure, yeah, sports. Love sports.
All right, well, I think that's enough of that. All right, so let's get to the wheel itself, and here it is. Spin away, please.
Christian, we are in knockout range potentially here.
Potentially, depending on what he gets. And that's not good. That's opponent choice. So opponent choice.
Well, wait, we can pass on that.
Thanks for playing the game.
No, not on opponent's choice.
So now we're gonna bring in, for a second here, we're gonna bring in Emily and Gucci. We're back to where we were in Atlanta.
Same thing in Atlanta.
This is so like Twilight Zone right now.
All right.
It pretty much is. Em, what are you thinking here? What we talked about?
Yep.
All right. You know what it was. It starts with an M and ends with an E, right?
Mm-hmm.
Middle Earth? No, that's not that doesn't have an E. What is it? What's the M?
That's Middle Earth.
Ends with an H.
That's with an H.
Yeah, but I'm talking about just the word middle.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Middle Earth.
Thank you. All right, so let's bring Zipper in here. Middle Earth it is. All right, Zipper, you're gonna have Middle Earth. You're gonna have 5 questions in the realm of Middle Earth, Mark.
All right, and if anybody wondered why they should teach spelling and grammar at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, there was your example. 5 questions, 2 points apiece. Eric, you need multiple choice, just ask us. That'll reduce the point value of the question to 1. Your first question in Middle Earth is in the Lord of the Rings. What is the name of the fortress where Saruman's tower is located?
Are you asking for the name of the tower or the name of the place? Because
The name of the fortress where Saruman's tower is located.
Isengard.
That is correct for 2 points.
That is correct. 2 points for Zipper here, Mark. Next question, question number 2.
Alrighty.
I don't know Middle Earth.
In The Hobbit, one of the dwarves in Thorin's company is Gimli's father. What is that dwarf's name?
Gloin.
And what a name it is. Gloin. For 2 more points.
More points. We see ourselves now with 14-8 as Zipper gets a 6-point lead here. Next question.
Alright. Your third question of 5 in Middle Earth, Eric. Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin stay at which watchtower shortly before Aragorn saves them from the Nazgul?
Weathertop.
Yes, it is.
Wow, that is impressive. That is impressive. It looks like somebody's been studying Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, and this was a category he did not choose, Christian.
No, he did not. Here we go. Next one.
All right, this is for a 10-point lead if you get it right off the bat. In Thorin's dying speech, he says, if people valued blank more than gold, the world would be a merrier place. What is that blank word?
Loyalty?
Let's go multiple choice.
Okay. Is it A, love, B, friends, C, home, or D, honor?
Home.
Friends.
That is incorrect for a 1-point steal. Emily, I'm going to give you your options again.
Home.
Is it A, love, B, friends, C, home, or D, honor?
Home.
That's a huge steal, Christian. The chances of a knockout have been eliminated.
Yeah, that was a big one. Well, for a knockout, for sure. It was eliminated this round. She'll make it to the 3rd round regardless. All right, final question here in the round for Zipper.
All right, back to you, Eric. Your question in Middle Earth. In Return of the King, the elves reforged the sword that cut the ring from Sauron's hand. What was the name of the reforged sword?
Anduil.
And you are correct for 2 points. So, Christian, look, Emily did stave off the knockout, but going into round number 3, Eric Zipper, quite a sizable advantage here.
Yeah, he still put himself and the dungeon in a great position here because as you may or may not know, 3 points during the regular Inner Geekdom matches, 1 point for a knockout. So if Emily Rose cannot get out of the 3rd round before Eric answers some questions, the dungeon sees himself with 4 big points here. So, Mark, how does round number 3 go?
It's a 9-point game as we head into round number 3. This is the round that will determine the match, lest we go to sudden death overtime. In round number 3, each competitor is going to give us a series of numbers. We need numbers 3 in total from each of you that range from 1 to 15. Each of those numbers corresponds to a different corner of Inner Geekdom know-how. Your first question is worth 2 points, your next one is worth 3 points, and your last one is worth 5 big points. So, Eric, like I said, you currently have a 9-point lead over Emily, so you are going to give us your 3 preferred numbers first. From 1 to 15, what feels lucky?
12, 2, and 3.
Well, 2 and 3 for Zipper and Emily.
6, 14, and 10.
6, 14, and 10.
We noted.
Emily Rose. All right, Emily, so in order to avoid the TKO, you need to hit all 3 of your questions. You cannot miss. So here is your first question. You chose category number 6. It's Middle Earth. Right back to Middle Earth. All right. Saruman crafts an army of 10,000 to storm Helm's Deep. This advanced breed of orcs goes by what name?
Budokai.
Budokai is correct for 2 points. All right, Emily. Sticking with you here as you get to category 14. Category 14, we're at Star Wars. We are at Star Wars. All right, Emily. Who is the first character willing to trust Lando again after his betrayal of Han Solo?
C-3PO. C-3PO.
And
C-3PO.
4.
Leia.
And your winner, by way of technical knockout, Eric Siemens. The answer was C-3PO. C-3PO. Emily, I'm going to put you in the waiting room here just for a second. Kaiser, Zipper, massive victory here. Not only is it a win for the dungeon, a much-needed win, it's a big 4 points. This is a big 4 points for the dungeon. Kaiser, Zipper came to play, and you aren't lying. How you feeling?
I mean, if you just look at Zipper, his skin is a lot nicer. He's lost some weight. He literally looks like a Terminator, and he proved it with a TKO. This is a good time to be in the dungeon. Smets is the unified champion of the world after beating the farmer, the old cowboy, and the Jawa. And now we got Zip advancing in this IG tourney. I really hope we get a piece of that Dickie Doo Kalinowski. I want Kalinowski to win because there's nothing I like more than beating corruption. So Shannon, get on your horse because this kid is the real deal and he came to play.
Yeah, it is ironic that I got a KO because KO is next.
Well, we don't know that yet because he is playing right now against Greg Alba, who had an amazing performance in the play-in match.
You're right. Alba will probably beat him.
Greg Alba will play Kalinowski, but Mike is obviously the favorite in that match. Zip, we know your history with Kalinowski. We know what he did as far as, you were promised certain things in corruption. He was behind it the whole time. He's mocked you in the past. How satisfying would it be to defeat Mike Kalinowski in this tournament?
There are honestly no words for how good it would feel to knock him out of this. If I knock him out of this tournament, I think he should be officially barred from ever calling me Zippity Doodah ever again.
I guarantee you that's probably all he's going to call you leading up to it.
Big words coming from Zippity Dippy Doo over there, okay? That kid's got no latitude to run on anybody.
My question is, why does he like referencing Song of the South so much?
Very deeply rooted question that we hope we never actually hear the answer to. Eric, I do have a question I'd like to hear the answer to now, and that is, look, they stuck you, and they seemed pretty confident giving you Middle Earth that you didn't know what you were talking about there. Did you take offense to that, how quickly they were like, oh, we can give this guy Middle Earth?
A little, but I was also glad because I love The Lord of the Rings. It's never been one of my biggest strengths in the inner geekdom, but I also do not consider it one of my largest weaknesses. I have had some bad luck with it before. I think that she was basing it off of my match with Adam, where I missed some Middle Earth questions. But to the extent that that was a weakness, I have shored up that weakness. I feel very good about that category right now.
Well, he's got the best training partner in the world, so what can you expect? This kid is lean and mean.
It was big. It was a big win. But Zipper, you had a crushing defeat earlier this year in one of the matches of that I guarantee will be nominated for your match against Stacey Howard in the singles division. It was a crushing defeat. Some people would have taken that and said, I don't know if I can do this again. That was just too much emotionally. You seem to do the opposite. You seem to be really working with. What did that match do for you in preparation for this one?
Well, the defeat was one thing, but when I take a step back and look at my performance in that match, objectively, I played incredibly well. So I came out of that match feeling bad about the defeat, but I lost because of weird Stacey Howard magic, where she just like knew answers that she didn't know. Like, I didn't lose because I played poorly. So I think I was able to take a little bit of that feeling of like, okay, I can't let this happen again, while also being like, oh, if I keep playing like this, it takes a magic fluke to knock me out. So, no more flukes.
Well, I mean, look, this was something like they said. You guys have been working really hard. It showed. And this was the big thing, was that everyone was talking about Parker in this tournament. And Kaiser, to his credit, has been saying, yeah, everybody's talking about Parker, and Parker's going to do what he's set out to do. But watch out for Zipper. This kid's training. He's hungry, and he's mean. And Kaiser, looks like you were right this time around. Hey.
I said it. He's going to take. I said he was going to take out all that hanger out on Emily the Rose, and he did. I just want to put it out. Listen, real quick, if you can bring Emily in, blink twice if that lunatic Dagnino is holding you against your own will. I'll send Parker to break you out of there.
Well, fair enough. All right, well, Kaiser, Zipper, congratulations. Now you sit back and you wait to see. I mean, to be fair here, we have been talking as if it is a foregone conclusion that Mike's going to win. Should Greg Alba win, how would you feel about going up against Greg in the second round there, Zip?
Yeah, why not? Let's do it. I'm not scared of Mike, and I'm not scared of Greg. So anybody that I'm facing next, after this today, I feel good, I feel confident, I feel comfortable. Let's do this.
All right, once again, guys, thank you so much. Kaiser, Zipper, congratulations.
Be in the dungeon, baby. But then again, it's always good to be in the dungeon.
Big win for the dungeon. Big 4 points here for you, gentlemen. Thank you. All right, we're going to bring back in Emily Rose Jacobson and Finstock. Emily, tough one here today. Zipper said he was coming to play. He said that he did. He ran into the same situation you did in Atlanta. Opponent's choice, spinner's choice. It just, what was behind the decision for Middle Earth?
Well, just like Zipper said, I looked at his previous matches, saw what his weaknesses were, and just put my bets on that. We put our bets on Middle Earth. It was nice to grab that steal in that category, but you know what? He talked a big game about being trained, and he came in here and he showed that.
Tom, I know this is a tough one for you. This is something that you haven't had to handle too much this season, and it's a loss. And the Finstock Exchange it's against the ropes at the moment. How are you feeling after this match?
I mean, look, I don't really necessarily believe in deja vu, but apparently it happens. We, like she said, I mean, we thought that was, his weakness, and clearly he was studying and did really well. We got spinners, luckily, and, we were comfortable with MCU. I don't think we would have went anywhere else. The questions were hard, and, when you're playing in, this level of competition, one miss, two misses here is going to cost you the game, and that's exactly what happened here. We had a game plan, and it blew up in our face. That is not the way we like to operate around here. We'll fix it. I mean, there's always, we can come back. I mean, Emily is a consummate professional. Everybody in the exchange has her back. This unfortunately didn't work out. So that's just the way it's got to go. I mean, look, if anybody thought that the Finstock Exchange was going to run away with this league from the get-go, yeah, of course, we got big names on paper. It is what it is. But there's a lot of really, really solid competitors in this league, and it's showing now. I mean, all of our big dogs have been off for a while because of this, the pandemic. And, you got these tournaments going on right now where a lot of people are going to make up a lot of headroom here. And we're who knows where we're going to be looking. We might be looking up, we might be looking down in the standings. We don't know yet.
Emily, I hate to be the one that kind of stirs this gossip pot, but I do have to ask, Kaiser brings up that maybe you're not having the best time in the Finstock Exchange. So I have to ask, after a loss like this, does it make you reconsider your affiliation? Would you prefer to be managed by someone who wears a shirt?
Absolutely not. Like Gucci said, the Finstock Exchange is a family. This group has each other's backs. I've been training with the Barbarian. I've been training with other folks, going back and forth, making sheets, working hard. It's been tough battling the forces that be right now in this current situation we're all in, and trying to make time for studying and balancing mental health. I did my best. You know what, 2 KOs, it really stings. I'm not gonna lie, really, really stings. But I have just actors on my list to memorize. I'm going to come back once all this is over and we're back in the studio. You're going to see some new blooms on this rose. I'm going to come in hot, I'm going to come in fast, and I'm going to take that belt.
All right, so last question that I do have here for you, Gooch, before we take off. Look, it's always, obviously it's not fun to lose. Does it sting a little bit more because it was to Kaiser?
Yeah, of course it does. I mean, I've owned him in the past. But look, I mean, the way he drafted was heavy IG. And we knew that. I mean, he's putting all his eggs in a couple of baskets here, and that's, he's got Parker, he's got Smets, obviously the two best I've seen in a really long time. And Zipper really did really, really well here today. We were not expecting that. And that's probably on me and the way, and a couple of different things we did, not taking him, I guess to say we took him for granted at this point. Not to say we were going to run over him or anything like that, but getting spinner's choice and opponent choice, if you told me that and I wasn't watching the match, I would have thought she ran away with it. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Like I said, once again, there's a lot of factions here that are really, really good. And their strong points, the dungeon strong point is obviously IG, and if he can sit back and stay like high up in the standings with IG and get this thing going, yeah, the dungeon is going to be a force to be reckoned with, along with Swag, along with the Den. I would say maybe corruption as well. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity to people to make up some points, especially in these tournaments, and I think they're going to do that. So every loss for the Finstock Exchange in these tournaments going forward, if we do lose any, will be really, really not good for our team. Let's put it that way.
All right, well, thank you very much. Again, Emily, always a pleasure to see you. Tom is right, constant professional every single time we see you. Thank you so much for joining us here today, both you and Tom. Sorry for the loss, but I'm sure the Finstock Exchange will be back sooner than later. Appreciate it. All right, so both Tom and Emily Rose there, I think classy in defeat.
Yeah, Christian, I mean, look, I think a lot of people might be crushed by a loss like this just because you trained, you studied, you worked with your teammates, with your faction members, but just hearing the optimism in Emily Rose Jacobson's voice, it makes me think, yeah, that she still is on her path, and this is not going to make her deviate from that. You're making your spreadsheets, you have your study, you have your knowledge, and you just continue to do that. But when we look at the landscape of this tournament, Eric Zipper came here to prove a point, and I think he did so with an exclamation. He said, look, I am to be taken seriously in this league. Maybe I'm not the biggest Inner Geekdom name yet.
No, you know what I think he's doing for himself also right now? Even though he had that loss to Stacey Howard, I think he's making a run for most improved player. There's no doubt about it. You see what he's done so far. When he came into the league World's Finest, he was the stronger player on that team. But even to his own admission, I think he'd tell you, like, kind of went off of my own knowledge, and I did what I did, and I had some fun. He started hanging out with guys like Smets and Parker and Kaiser, and realizing that he wants to, you can tell how competitive he is and how he wants to be good. And you think he studied now? If it is Kalinowski that he is going to get, you're going to see a very different, because he wants to smash, as we can steal from something else, he wants to smash Kalinowski and get him out of there, because that would cement his legacy in this division.
Yeah, and ironically, I think that the one person that Emily Rose Jacobson could look at and say, oh, I can do that, is Eric Zipper, because Eric Zipper had a tough loss, as we mentioned earlier this season, and he has bounced back marvelously. This league, Christian, is littered with stories as far back as when you and I started it, that you have people, it's not how you handle winning, it's how you handle losing. And look at somebody like John Roca, who had a tough loss, and he managed to bounce back from it. When you lose in this type of format, you either retire, you go to the announcer booth, or you pick up yourself by your bootstraps and you say, I'm going to work harder. And I think you're going to see that from Emily. And Zipper, well, he's already on his recovery path.
That's absolutely right. And here are the standings as they go today, Mark. The dungeon jumping up 4 big points there, and that's where they are. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. And the way that you watch this match, all you got to do is tune into YouTube. That's right, youtube.com/the Schmoedown. The tournament is airing every Thursday and Friday, but if you want to watch the Thursday match, like a lot of you guys just did for this one, you might have seen this on Monday or Tuesday. The way you do that, you become a patron. And how you do that, you go to patreon.com/Schmoedown and join today, and you can get these matches just a little earlier.
That's right. It's been so nice having this virtual setup, Christian. And look, when this pandemic started, we didn't know when we were going to be able to do Schmoedowns again, but this setup that we have here, I applaud you. I applaud our entire tech team. It's been great having this just as an outlet to express ourselves and get some of that creativity and entertain the masses. But it's also been great because the matches have been spectacular thus far, so I look forward to a lot more where that came from.
And one of those matches, big one, on Friday, that's right. Chance Ellison, Paul Oyama, they have done it before in the singles. Well, they do it now in the Inner Geekdom division. Corruption versus Swag. The factions continue to war. Make sure you check it out this Friday, the 26th. Thank you guys. For Mark Ellis, I'm Christian Harloff. We'll see you next time.
Well, it was a fun match. Congrats to Zipper on a very impressive victory. He clearly, you can see why he's in the dungeon. Having Smets and Parker, in my opinion, the two best IG competitors in the league. It's rubbing off on Zip. He's reaping the benefits. But Emily, something should be said for her resiliency. You know, it's the second time where luck just wasn't on her side, but she stays positive, and you like to see that. Even in defeat, she still, keeps her head held up high. You gotta have that in this league. But it was a fun match, and that pre-match smack talk, Kaiser killed it. Kaiser, in my opinion, the best smack talker in the business. He crushes it every time. Love it. If you like my reactions, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Christopher Woodburn. You can find me on Twitter, Chris Woodburn83, Facebook, Christopher Michael Woodburn. So until next time, Mr. Boy C-Dub, peace.